Okay. Okay, good morning. I'm Tina Frontera, and I'd like to welcome you all to Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, a center for conscious living. Thank you to those of you who are here today, and for those of you who are joining us in your living room live streaming now. So, as most of you know, this is a talk, movement, and meditation service. So I'll be talking on the theme for a few minutes, and then we're going to do a little movement, and then the theme again, and then a little movement, and I'll talk on the theme again. We'll end in a meditation and then a YouTube video at the very end. So that's it for what we're going to do today. As you know, we are a center for conscious living, and we come together to explore consciousness and our unique connection with the divine. So through the movement and meditation together, as well as the talk, I hope to join all that together, and the purpose in doing it is so that the theme for the month sticks. So you're not just going to listen to me talk for an hour, but incorporate it into your being. So the theme for today is staying curious. So if we think of the word staying, we are remaining. We're not leaving, we're present, here, and now. We're staying. When we think of the word curious, we think of exploring, discovery, learning. And it's been described as the lust of the mind, curiosity as the lust of the mind. So if we're staying curious, then we are in continuous lust of the mind, right? We are making sense of the world through our mind. In our hearts, we're opening our hearts to possibility. We're discovering new things, each other, new relationships every single day. And it has the ability to transform us as individuals and really change the world. So there's an ancient story about a young person who heard about a wise man way up in the mountains. And this young person went up to the wise man and asked the wise man to give him the keys to wisdom. And the wise man said, well, it's not really something I can give you. I can't really hand it to you, and I really can't teach it to you, but I can facilitate it. So here is a book. And so the youth was very excited. He walked away, and then when he got home, he looked at the book, and he realized it was blank. And he was really puzzled. So he walked back up the mountain to the wise man and said, what is this? And the wise man said, this is your book to fill. Go out, explore, be curious about everything. Think about it, write it down, reflect on it. Because wisdom isn't something that's handed to you, it comes to you through your experience. It comes from staying curious. And that's a persistent, humble approach to learn and reflect. Question like a child. Reason like an adult. Write like a sage. Okay. Question like a child. Reason like an adult. Write like a sage. So in psychology, Maslow says that curiosity helps us lead a life of meaning, and it deepens our personal relationships with each other. And like watering a plant, our roots grow deeper. and we become more grounded in the earth and in our relationships. And it forces us out of our comfort zone. When we're curious, we're doing something that's not just within us, we are going outside of us. So there's another story of a man that's been walking by this tree every single day, and he noticed that this cat has been stuck in that tree for a week, for a week. And, finally on the seventh day, he said, boy, that cat is just not going to make it. What can I do? So he called up a friend who, for a living, cuts down trees. And it just so happens that this person was also an experienced climber, and he always had climbing equipment in his car. And so we said, I wonder, can you help out this poor cat? Because he's not going to make it. And the tree trimmer said, well, I've never thought about that. I'm kind of curious about that. When I think about it, I guess I can get to more places than what a fire truck can go in their little bucket and that arm that's really limiting, because I can really kind of crawl through things. So he made a makeshift sort of pouch to put onto his harness, and he climbed up hither, tither, and yon, and he grabbed that poor little cat and put him in his pouch, and that cat was against his heart, and he cried, the cat cried, and it just gave him so much joy. So after that, he decided, I'm going to advertise that I'll do this for free. I'm still going to trim trees for a living because I still have to make a living, but, I'm going to do this on occasion if somebody needs help. And so he was rescuing cats out of trees. He got really well known in the community. And 25% of the time, nobody knew who the owner was. And so then the other mystery that he solved throughout all of this is, who does this cat belong to? And oftentimes through social media, the neighborhood would gather together, so they became even more of a community, and would find the owner of these cats. And oftentimes it would be an older person that wasn't on social media, that just lost their cat and didn't know how to communicate to everybody. And so it gave great joy to everyone in the community. And later on, this young man, this tree trimmer, got a local award for his compassion and curiosity, bringing love to new heights. So that's a fitting reward for him. Now, we've heard that curiosity killed the cat, right? But some might say that routine and the illusion of safety is what kills curiosity and purpose and passion. Some say it can be a slow death to our inner fire, just staying always in a safe place and in our routine. And actually, the enemy of anxiety and isolation can be curiosity and passion. It takes us out of ourselves and into the unknown. Now, it also can put us in a vulnerable position. So it's always a balance. When we're discovering new things, we have to balance sort of the danger, because I'm not suggesting that everyone becomes a tree climber, versus what is adventure and what is discovery and what is good for your heart and your soul. So if we explore things that are greater than our fear, but still trusting our inner voice, that this is right for you, then we can listen to the world and we can trust in life and we can explore and stay curious. The trick is practicing this every day. Practicing it every day. So with that, I'm going to invite you to stand up, and we're going to do our first exercise, and without any music. And the first exercise I like to do, And the purpose of it is just to sort of help us get rid of what no longer serves us. And they're Qigong movements. And the theory of Qigong is that we want to unstick stuck energy. So I encourage you to stand feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent, hands at your side open, and just breathe in and out several times. Just come into your body. And put your hands together and just rub your hands together. They might be cold from the outside, but we're also opening up those energy meridians in the hands and getting that circulation going. The tips of your fingers, the palms of your hand. And if any of you ever practice some self-healing, sometimes what you want to do is just sort of get that love and that energy and that circulation going before you even do some self-healing. And then take one hand, place it on the back of your head, close to your neck. The other hand, the small of your back with your back of your hand holding your back. And then just slowly twist, pushing your head and your body slowly to one side, twisting more at the waist, stretching, making sure your knees are slightly bent, opening up the channels from your head to your arm, down your spine. Come to center, reverse that, stretch the other way, and while you're doing that, look up at the ceiling, at the dome. Come back to center. And if you want to stay as you are, you can. If you want to spread your legs even more and even coming down even to more of a crouch, and put your hands out in front of you. And then take your one arm, extend it out, have the other arm follow, and we're going to pull a bow and arrow, bringing your front arm across your chest like a bow and arrow and stretching as far as you can. Not only are we stretching our body, but envision that that arrow is going through what no longer serves you, what fear you might have, what stuck energy you might have. Imagine that arrow just shot it. Now bring those arms together, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Slowly then, one arm out, bring the other arm back as though you're pulling the bow, stretch as far as you can, and boom. What no longer serves you, just imagine disappearing. Come back to the center. And we're going to do it a little faster. This time, bow and arrow. And the other side. And back to center. And put those feet back so that they're just shoulder apart. And twist those wrists around. Twist those wrists around. Now, The next move might be a little more complicated, so I'm going to ask you to prepare and take one foot in front of you while you're still twisting and put your toe on the ground, because what we're going to do is prepare, if you can, if you have the balance, and if you don't want to try it, don't. But while you're doing that, if you can lift and focus on something stagnant in front of you, and if you can, do it. See if you can, and I could do it the other day. If you can twist your foot, whew, and if you can do it the other way. Okay, both feet on the ground while you're still twisting your hand. And prepare, toe, and only if you're ready, look ahead. Look ahead at something stagnant and see if you can do it. Okay, and then now shake those hands. Shake those hands. And imagine any more stuck energy just coming up through those hands and out those fingertips. If you want to shake those hands all around you, just to also dissipate any energy around you, any negative energy around you that you feel you sometimes might be affected. Just clear away that fog. Clear away that fog. Okay, slow down those hands. One hand on the belly, the other hand on the heart. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And with your hand on your heart, send to your heart love. And have a seat. So Einstein once said, "I'm neither extremely clever or intelligent. I'm just curious." So if we look beyond ourselves, we can really know possibility. Now, it's easier to do that outside of ourselves. It's easier to do that when we're traveling. It's almost easier to do that when we're in science. When we are in relationship with ourselves or with others, sometimes that gets to be really, really hard. Because what happens when you think of the relationships people have and the hardships that we have, it's often about our egos get in the way, or it's often that we feel like we're being controlled in some way. And it always seems to be, when we have personal conflicts, it seems to be about that. Our egos, or feeling like we need to be in control, or feeling like we are being controlled. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. And so it gets really tough. But we need to think, what do we value more? Do we value understanding and growing our relationships, but proving ourselves right? And it's a tough challenge. It's a really tough challenge. So the holidays are coming up, and this is tough for a lot of people, because sometimes we are thrust with our families, and there are lots of triggers. There are old childhood triggers. There are just triggers with siblings. There are just things that kind of happen and go on. And it's sometimes difficult to keep our cool during the holiday season. So there's a story of a family that was sitting down at dinner, and the adult daughter announced that she is giving up her corporate job to start a pottery studio. And the father kind of went berserk and said, "You are giving up a perfectly good paying job to own a pottery studio?" And of course, you know, the emotions flare. The daughter thinks that dad's being controlled again, and yada, yada, yada. So the grandmother speaks up and says, "Honey, what is the most beautiful thing that you made? And she described this big pot with this beautiful ocean blue swirl in it. And then the grandma said, so how did you make that beautiful swirl? Well, I learned this really neat technique. It's rare in the world, and I learned how to perfect it. And honey, who taught you that? And then, honey, what does that remind you of? And she said, the reason why that blue swirl means so much to me, it reminds me of a family vacation we took on a beach, and I remember when I was so young how beautiful blue the ocean was, and I'd never seen it before, and I saw it for the first time. And the family and the father, got to understand her passion. Grandmother then turned to father and say, so you were in business, son. Could you tell us what your first business was like? And he described, well, it was a failure. And, I was young, and I struggled a lot. And then she asked him about the business that he's in now, and he described how after that failed, he learned a little bit more, and he got more experience, and he developed a business plan, and that's how now his business became successful and how he could afford to really support a lot of the family. And so they got to understand each other. The dad was still concerned about the daughter, and he expressed that concern. It was heartfelt concern. He was not doing it out of a place of control. So they were both feeling heard. He understood her passion. She understood his concern. And in the end, she did open up her pottery, or she made plans to, but she agreed to take her business plan to the family to discuss it so that she'd get more input. And so in the end, it was a positive resolution. But there's something called the beginner mindset. Embracing a beginner mindset that replaces judgment, and it gets us out of these arguments. It's really just asking questions in so many ways, okay? But it's asking questions not in judgment, but because you want to learn, but because we want to understand. And it opens up this fresh perspective, because we give up our fear of looking stupid or uninformed, and instead we replace it with heartfelt concern and curiosity. And when we sometimes have mutual doubts and mutual concerns, and we can both express those doubts and concerns, it really unifies us. Brave conclusions do not. Here's my opinion. All of a sudden, you divide people, okay? But it's tell me about, I want to understand. That is very, very unifying. So I hope you might find it useful during the holidays if you are in that situation. So curiosity opens up possibility, and it allows for innovations that we haven't even yet thought of. So most of you know about Stephen Hawking, right? Stephen Hawking was this brilliant mathematician. He was admitted to Cambridge, and his professors and his fellow students were just awed by what a brilliant mathematician this man was. I mean, he's one of those person that wrote boards and boards and boards and boards of formula. And this was like in 1960, okay? And just brilliant. And during college, he managed to even have a girlfriend, even though he was kind of like this nerdy mathematician. And this woman adored him and was very, very supportive of him. And at age 21, he was diagnosed with ALS. And for those of you that are familiar with ALS, it's a bad degenerative neurological disease where basically you're trapped in your body, right? You become slowly, totally paralyzed. Nothing works, okay? You can't walk, you can't move. and it's kind of called a lock-in syndrome. And back in that day, in the 1960s, once somebody got so far and they couldn't breathe on their own, that's usually when you let them go. Because the alternative was to, put a tracheostomy in, maybe, and you could then be on a ventilator, but you would be unable to communicate. So there you would be, kind of awake, locked in your body. So he had a couple of years to think about this before that happened to him. So when the time came, so he was totally paralyzed in a wheelchair, it was time to intubate, the doctor said, and the wife said, no, intubate him. And it's like, are you sure? And remember, this mathematician was still cognitively intact. He'd been thinking about how to deal with not being able to communicate for a couple of years. And so he figured out how to, with just this movement, find someone to create a board. Remember, we didn't have cell phones back then. Believe it or not, I don't know, we might have still had just black and white TV. He was able to communicate almost like a Morse code to people. And then as he became more debilitated with a single cheekbone, he was able to, if I had this, he was able to tap that code. And he worked with other scientists to have that board now speak for him. So it was kind of an Alexa way before its time. And so he gave lectures in college, totally paralyzed, talking with and on the AI board that was speaking to everyone. So he fathered 3 children with this woman. And so he accomplished a lot. He did groundbreaking contributions to the understanding of the universe. And he was a visionary for AI, of course. I mean, obvious. He was one of the first pioneers of AI. And even back then, he cautioned, which is a lesson for us today, that AI should serve humanity. Okay, it should serve humanity and not overtake it. So that balance again. And he died at age 76, and his daughter is writing books, Lucy. And one of her books is Curiosity and the Secrets of the Universe. It's a child's book. And so she's passing on his learnings. And so he really exemplified that physical boundaries are really no match for a curious mind. Okay, I'm going to invite you to stand up, and we're going to do our second movement. Oh, same stance. Feet slightly apart, shoulder width, knees slightly bent, hands at your side. You are a strong tree in the earth. Like Maslow spoke, your roots are deep. And we are going to now connect with the earth, with the universe, in a much more basic way, a very basic way. And I'm going to turn my back to you because we are going to face east. Actually, we're going to face that way. That's east. Take a deep breath. And you're going to put one foot in front of you and put your arms behind you. And not touching, but behind you, palms up. And now, if you can reach down to the ground, bend your knees, keep your balance, and you're going to scoop up from Mother Earth. Very slowly, come up. You're going to scoop up water from Mother Earth. Scoop up that water from Mother Earth in your hands and gently hold it in your hands. Don't spill the water. Cup your hands up. Cup your hands up above your head. And now let the water fall, bathe you, cleansing you, connecting you with Mother Earth and all she has to give you. You are facing east. Point your hands to Father Sky as you are facing east. East represents birth. Birth, a time when you are learning and curious about everything. Everything is new and fresh. Okay. Going to ask you then to turn your hands back towards you. And now we're going to turn to the south. With your other foot, go forward. Take your hands, put them behind you, not connecting, palms up. Scoop again. First touching Mother Earth. Touching her earth, the dirt of the earth that grows our food and nurtures the entire world. Scoop up. Scoop up that earth. Don't let it fall. And then once you are slightly above your head, let that earth come down on you and shower you with the growth of the earth. The south represents summer and growth, further maturing, further learning. The peak of everything that is green and contributing. And your curiosity grows even more as an adult. And as you develop relationships. Now I'm going to ask you to face the west. With that first foot that you had in front of you, forward. And both hands then behind you as before. And slowly scoop up. Now faster than the last time. Just scoop up. Scoop up. And this time you're going to take whatever love you scooped up from Mother Earth and point those palms upward and give them up to the sky. You're facing the west, which represents fall. It represents our humanness fully grown as full, mature beings. The harvest, we start to harvest what we have built with each other in our lives, in our head, with our education, with our learnings. We start to pull it all together. Take that energy that you just gave to Father Sky, pull it into your hands, bring it to your heart, and now let's face the north. With the north, we're going to put the opposite foot in front of us again. Take those hands, put them behind us. As we have, scoop up again. And come full circle, bring it to your heart. And here we are at the north, representing wintertime, the time when we can rest, look at our lives, appreciate it, mentor others, give as much as we can while we grow in light and in wisdom. Okay, come back towards me again. And this time you're going to take one palm, point it to Father Sky, the other palm to Mother Earth, connecting the heavens and the earth with you as the conduit of energy, cleansing your body from head to toe through you. You're going to reverse that, the other hand towards Mother Earth, the other hand to Father Sky. Same thing. Be that conduit between Sun, Earth, Father, Mother. Be that conduit of love, discovery, and all that the earth has to offer. Bring both hands together to your heart. And once again, give yourself love. Okay, have a seat. So, John Donahue once said, "The possibilities of human destiny are asleep in our souls. We're here to realize and honor them and allow the opportunity for them to transform our lives." So possibility and curiosity is something that really lights up our soul. So staying curious over time, though, changes, doesn't it? When we're little kids, we use it to sort of feed our imagination. When we're older, we use it to help us understand the world, and we also use it to transform us. And we start asking more what ifs. What if this and what if that? And it opens us up to a whole new way of being. So then we allow ourselves to move into consciousness, which is purpose, connection. What is now? What is now? And so our perspective shifts, and we stop chasing. We're more comfortable with feeling what is now. So over 30 years ago, I used to get up really early in the morning to go to work, but I'd look out my window and I would see this big, tall, beautiful man jogging, usually with half a dozen other men jogging with him. Every morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, in the winter, in the dark, and they just seemed to be having a good time, and he seemed to sort of have a following, and I was always curious about him, but I was too busy to pay any attention. And years later, I realized he was Alan Page. Alan Page was the Vikings Hall of Famer, and he was the state Supreme Court Justice in Minnesota. And he also, with his wife, raised an interracial family. So there he was, walking in running in front of my house almost every morning, and I didn't even know who he was. So he's now retired, his wife is deceased, and he and his family have a cabin up north. And he and his wife, when they were together, would bake with their children and do all kinds of things with the children. Now that she's gone, he still goes up there with the grandchildren and the children, and he enjoys life differently, more quiet, and also through their eyes, through their curiosity. So now when the grandkids are saying, how does the maple trees make syrup? He's like, let's go find out. So he makes maple syrup with the grandkids. Bakes with the grandkids. His daughter remembers those fond memories. He and his daughter sat together kind of reminiscing those stories. And it's like, hey, why don't we write some children's books together? So they wrote children's books together about unconventional families, since it was an interracial family, about baking, just about families being together. And one of the books that they wrote was called Baking Up Love. And he says that he kind of fell in love with words. And reading for him fulfills his curiosity because he's learning. And he believes that the more curious we all are, the better off the world is. And he's so grateful to be a part of it. So really, curiosity doesn't really need to have a goal. We can be in it. We can stay in it. So if by staying curious, we can gently hold the well-being of the whole world in our hands for generations to come, if we use that as a standard of our actions, that may all be that's necessary. So we've all heard the saying, live as you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. I might also add, learn as if you were to live and contribute forever. Okay, our last exercise. I encourage you to stand up. And this time we're going to move just a little bit more. And we're going to still be that rooted tree with our strong stance, feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent, hands, and our rooted tree is firmly embedded in that stream. We are strong. We are strong. And we're going to slowly rise up our hands to the center, and we're going to open our arms and our hearts to the world, and we're going to feel that stretch. And we're going to flow with it. So come back. And now just a little faster. Flow with that movement. Of opening your hearts and bringing love back in. Open your heart. Bring love back in. Open. Bring in discovery. Open. Bring in purpose. Open. Bring in destiny. Open. Bring in transformation. Open. Bring it back. And with one foot in front of the other, and your palms facing out where that one foot is, we're going to go back and forth in a Tai Chi method. And yes, this is improving our circulation and getting our blood going. also clearing the air and letting it all flow. From the curiosity of your childhood to all the discoveries you've made as a teenager, all the mistakes you have made. It's all a part of our learning. There's nothing to regret. We learn and we flow from it. Consciousness begins, the wisdom starts, and the peace is felt. Come back to center. We're going to do what's called paintbrush hands. Point the palms of your hands down, facing you. And you're going to bring your hands up. And then once they're at the top, take your palms and point them out. So this is called paintbrush hands. And what you're symbolically doing is cleansing your bone marrow. All the way up and down your body, your bone marrow is what contributes to a healthy, strong immune system. It produces those white blood cells. Fights off diseases, the stuff we get this time of year. Just imagining opening and strengthening your bone marrow, and at the same time, you're aligning all the neurons in your spine. I forgot to tell you, I'm also a nurse. And you are aligning them. If you have back pain, try to just melt into it. Feeling all of those vertebrae perfectly aligning. This is also where physical feeling happens. And it goes up into your head to emotional feeling. Now I'm going to ask you to bring your hands to center. And you're going to make your energy ball. So imagine in those movements, you have just created a big mass of love, of compassion, of curiosity. This is a part of you and a part of the universe combined. This is your great gift during this holiday season to the universe, because you're going to hold it now and give it love. And raise your arms up and give it up to the universe, unifying yourself with all there is. Bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to have a guided meditation, so have a seat. And I'm going to encourage you for this meditation to put your hands on your knees with your fingertips up for this particular guided meditation. Make sure you're firmly in your chair and relaxed. And some deep breaths in through your nose, circulating all throughout your spine and your body and your lungs and back out your mouth. Do that a couple of times in, nose, through your lungs, through your entire body, out your mouth. And while you're doing that now, you're going to imagine everything opening one at a time. Your nasal passages open, perfectly open. Your throat open, perfectly open. Your heart open, perfectly open. Your lungs open, perfectly open. Your belly open, perfectly open. Your sacrum open, perfectly open. Your legs, the circulation open, perfectly open. The tips of your toes open, perfectly open. Couple more deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth, through your nose, out your mouth. As you're doing that, you're touching Mother Earth. Your feet are touching Mother Earth. Your feet are touching Mother Earth. So imagine now from your feet, energy going to your hands, and from the fingertips of your hands, releasing from your body your butterflies of possibility to join that ball of love that you just sent to the universe, to fly around, to discover in conscious awareness and your connection with the divine. A few moments of silence.
When you dream, try to reach your arms around the world. Lay down your ear till you hear heartbeat of the earth. The sound of all of life's striving, being born and dying, fending off the dark of madness, sadness, and laughter, dreams of ever after. All this is what you are tonight. When you dream, imagine sleeping in anciency. Breathe out and in, begin to swim, then turn your fins to feet and Climb out upon the dry land, run like an eland, fly like a lark, and drive your roots into the dark earth. When you dream, remember all this is what you are. When you dream, step across the boundaries of your life. Till you are free, skip away like a ray of light over space and time. Raise your eyes up to the universe. Lift up your arms to the stars. Fires on your bird, and reach through the atmosphere, out across the light years. Take hold of a star and bring it burning inside you, only to remind you all this is what you are. This is what you are.
Might have to come together some row, yeah, okay. Or in front, okay. It works. Okay. So, Mother, Father, God, Spirit, ancestors, all who love us, thank you. Thank you for this life on earth. Thank you for the ability to discover, to stay curious, our whole lives. And as we walk out of here today, let us remember, and as we approach each and every person, each and every tree, let's try an exercise of looking at it with wonderment and giving it love. Aho. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So now,